Today, I want to show you how to use GitHub for managing your team's robot code, especially if you have more than one programmer working on the same project. We'll walk through the basics of Git, how version control works, and most importantly, show you how it solves all the annoying problems that come with team-based programming. G'day, I'm Mr. Code. Git is a fantastic tool for programmers, and it has been tried and tested by software teams for decades. There is no way that I can explain how all of Git works in one video, so this tutorial is designed specifically for student robotics teams. If you are looking for more in-depth guides afterwards, I'll provide some links in the description below. With GitHub, you won't even need to install Git on your local computers. Just create a GitHub account and you're set. First, let's have a look at some of the common problems that robot teams face. And the first problem is a bunch of messy file names, filled with duplicates and backup versions of files with a cacophony of version numbers. Or perhaps you use dates to try and stay organized. And this would normally work until you need to modify an older file for any reason. Now you're stuck wondering which one is the latest version. Was it the one with the higher version number or the one with the newer date stamp? That is not how professional teams manage their code. Problem number 2 is the blame game. Have you ever seen code mysteriously stop working and nobody on the team knows why? One day the code works and the next day the robot drives straight into a wall. Nobody changed anything apparently, and suddenly your team meeting turns into a game of Among Us. Everyone's pointing fingers, no commit history, no way to trace the change, just pain. And finally, most teams have more than one programmer. But without version control, all the coders huddle around one laptop writing code collaboratively. Or worse, you copy-paste files between USBs or email attachments and lose track of which one is the master version. This is a huge waste of time and productivity, and that is why your team needs version control. Before we begin, make sure every coder on your team has a GitHub account. And secondly, that they understand the basic Git commands, and we'll teach these in this video today. First, let's create a new GitHub repository. This will be your team's central home for code. Once you log into GitHub, creating a repository is as easy as clicking on the Repositories tab up the top, and then clicking on New. Now I'm going to call mine FLL GitHub Demo. And this is going to be a demonstration for GitHub with Spike Prime. For this project, I'm going to make it available publicly. But for you, if you want yours to be private, then you click on this and then make it a private link. After that, you can choose your license options and then you click on Create Repository. And that's it. That is as easy as that. Once you have created your repository, you can upload your existing folder or your files for your project. So for me, I'm going to go upload an existing file. And then you drag in any files that you have from your project. I'm going to use my CA/FLL coding masterclass file. If you haven't seen my top 10 must-have functions for FLL, definitely check that video over here so that you can see how I created all the functions here, okay? After you have dragged in your file, you put in your commit message. Here I'm going to say initial commit from the 10 essential My Blocks video. Okay, click commit changes. It's going to process it for a little while, and boom, there we are. We have our file now being managed on GitHub. Now that your team repo is set up, you can invite your teammates as collaborators. And once they accept, everyone can work on the same project from their own laptops. To invite a collaborator for your project, simply click on the settings up the top here. On the settings tab, you can then click on collaborators on the left-hand side. Once you're in the collaborators and teams page, you can click on add people and then add people here by their username or their email address. Now, I spend a lot of time making tutorial videos just like these, so if they help you out in any way, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It is your support that lets me continue making coding videos, so I thank you in advance. Here's what your team should do every time they work on the robot code. Firstly, they pull the latest version, and in GitHub, that means we download the latest version of the code from the main branch before making any changes. To download the code onto your computer, simply click on the Code tab. And then here in this green code button, you click on the arrow and then you click on Download Zip. Now, after you click on Download Zip, it will download the whole contents of your project into a folder. All you have to do is extract the folder and then work from that at the start of each coding session. Secondly, we make changes to the code locally on your computer, making sure you are working on the version that you just downloaded. Remember, the whole purpose of having the code on GitHub is that you don't have to have multiple versions of your code on your own computer. Don't make any duplicates, just download the latest code to override your local files and work on that version each time. Having duplicates will cause you pain later. Let's say now that I have downloaded my files, I want to improve my code. I want to add another function called gyro straight in inches instead of centimeters. I'm going to add that function and then show you how to make a new commit so that I upload this back onto GitHub so that the rest of my team can see the changes. Now I have completed the my block for gyro straight inches. I just go over to the top of my code, click save it back to my masterclass file. And then I go back to my GitHub repository. Thirdly, you commit and push these changes with a clear message. Committing your code means that you have successfully tested and run your code from your computer and that you are ready to make these changes available for everyone else on your team. Your commit messages should be clear, concise, and descriptive. Here in my repository, I'm going to upload my file again. So here I go add file, upload files, and then choose my file again. Simply drag it on. And then for my commit message, I need to add a very concise and accurate message of what I've changed. So I'm going to say added gyro straight my block that takes inches instead of centimeters. Okay. Commit directly to the main branch, hit the commit changes button. And then here we go. We have now got our first commit. Think of your branch as a timeline of your code where each milestone is marked by a commit. Each commit should be a snapshot of your code that is fully working, and there should never be a commit where your code is intentionally left broken. That way, if we do encounter issues in the future, we can revert our code to any of these commit points and expect the code to still be working. Make commits often. Don't wait until the end of the day, and every meaningful change like adding a new function or fixing a bug deserves its own commit. GitHub tracks every commit and every person who made it. You can literally see what line of code was changed, when it was changed, and by who. No more mysteries, no more blaming, just facts. This feature works best for text-based coding languages like Python, Java, or C++. If you are using block-based code, then it is much harder to track changes this way. So to lift your coding game, make sure you learn to code with text. Now, during the research for this video, I found out that Spike Prime actually converts Spike files, including Spike Python files, back into compiled binary code, which means that you can't use advanced GitHub features like diff checks and smart merging. However, if you want to see how to use these advanced Git features, I will make another video in the future on advanced techniques. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, More Educational. Ever since Creator Academy started LEGO Education videos, we have been greatly supported by the experts at More Educational. They are an authorized partner of LEGO Education with over 25 years experience working with LEGO Education products. So if you're in Australia and you want to buy genuine LEGO Education products like all of the ones shown in this video, then make sure that you visit the More Educational website. So to wrap up, if your team has ever lost track of file versions, had mystery bugs with no owner, or felt held back by a one laptop workflow, then it's time to get into GitHub. Learn it once, use it forever. Your future self and your robot will thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.